Hello everyone and welcome to Dubai and Game 6 of the FIDE World Championship Dubai 2021, where world champion Magnus Carlsen and Jan Nepomniachtchi, the challenger, are locked in battle, tied at 2.5 games apiece. In Game 5, the players repeated the same variation from Game 3, and it was Magnus Carlsen who switched and played a new move, deviating from that game. But Jan was able to handle it most effectively and even got the better position. But at the critical moment, he avoided playing the money move, pawn to c4, that all the experts and all the engines were saying was definitely the way to go. And in the end, that allowed Magnus to come back and neutralize the advantage, play a very precise endgame, and the players had to agree to a draw. Today in Game 6, Magnus will have the white pieces. He's had 2 whites before, but has been frustrated by the incredibly precise defense of his opponent. He no doubt will come in with fire and desire and passion for victory and maybe get his opportunity to finally take a lead in the match. Later, we will see how the fans in Russia are rooting for their man Jan Nepomniachtchi. But first, let's jump to the game as Game 6 is set to begin.
I'm very excited to be here to see the match and to root for my friend Jan Nepomniachtchi.
I am so excited. Actually, it's my first time that I'm in an event like this. So I'm so happy to be how the result is going to be, and just making some pictures of the launch of 2024 and make some pictures of the deck. So yes, I'm so happy.
Today I thought Magnus was going to win because I had a feeling, okay, just coming into Dubai today, I thought I bring good vibes, good emotions, and yeah, I'm rooting for Magnus, I have to say that. So I was thinking he was going to win.
So I think it's going to be a complicated game today, and they both have to try already to show a bit more. So far, I think they both were a bit conservative, so it's going to be exciting.
So yesterday was a fun day. I taught some students that have been selected by FIDE, and this was the second class. The previous class happened at the hotel, but this one happened here, right here in the expo. So we all come in here. We analyze just behind me in the VIP seating. So I'm sitting there, and all of them in front, so they get to ask some questions. I show them some nice games. It's projected up here. And after that, I think the really nice bit where everyone gets to go inside, take photographs in Magnus's and Nepo's chair, look at the cabins, private cabins for the players, look around, make some moves, take some photos and all, and then go back. I think this is a very nice idea because you could see that for the kids it'll be a very special memory for a long time.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Maurice Ashley, and it is my distinct pleasure to welcome you to Game 6 of the FIDE World Championship Dubai 2021 with the white pieces from Norway, world champion Magnus Carlsen. And playing with the black pieces from Russia, the challenger Jan Nepomniachtchi. The president of FIDE, Arkady Dvorkovich. the governor of the 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐿 Autonomous Region, Natalia Komarova, the mayor of Moscow, Sergei Sobyanin. Let the game begin. Game 6 of this heavyweight battle has begun. Magnus putting his pawn into the middle of the board, controlling the center, and Jan, no doubt, well prepared against his move. He has dropped his knight to the f6 square, and we see them well prepared, but Magnus will have to come up with something new if he's going to confuse his opponent and try to win this game. Anepo thinking for just a moment. No doubt he knows exactly what he has prepared in this position, and he has played his pawn into the center of the board as well. Pawn to d5, this move controlling key squares, and Magnus pushing a pawn near the side. This is called fianchettoing your bishop, as he has made space for his bishop to go into the game. Not a bad move, not so unusual, but certainly something that will cause a little bit of a wrinkle and get Jan to stop and think about what to do next. Jan is spending extra time on this move. Looks as though he's not totally comfortable as he tries to figure out what to do, and now he's getting up from the board. The jacket is coming off early. Certainly feeling some heat under the collar. Has Magnus surprised him this early in the game? Very unlikely, given how much preparation has gone into this contest, but it seems as though he's already facing some discomfort this early on in the game. Nepo has been extremely careful throughout this opening, as Magnus has thrown him for a bit of a surprise, and he has captured the pawn on c4. The natural move would be to take back, and Magnus coming back to the table and sitting down. No doubt he had something prepared against this move. The most natural reply would be to recapture that pawn on c4, but Magnus has instantly played his queen to c2, an aggressive move, avoiding any kind of queen trade. Magnus showing that he has definite aggression on his mind, and he's already gotten up from the board, leaving Nepo to stew over his last move. These players have been locked in battle. Those last couple of moves definitely stabilizing the position somewhat for Jan. He still has some trouble, but look at this. The move b5, attacking the knight on c4. This pawn move pushing, surging ahead, attacking Magnus's piece. Nepo seems to have turned the game around, and it's Magnus who will have to study the position because he looks to be in trouble right now.
I feel the kind of pressure Jan feels right now is that it can still go wrong. He has done his job well. He's entered the match well. He's playing on equal terms. He's done the work before. He's playing here with confidence. He's playing mano a mano, as Magnus is equal. And actually, if he doesn't believe it, no one else will. He has to believe it himself. All that is, he can tick the boxes, and it doesn't matter. Nobody cares. If he lets slip once, nobody will care that his start was good or anything. And I think that's the pressure, the thing. He's doing very well so far. It's challenging, of course. We all recognize that. But unless he goes the distance, it doesn't matter. So he has to keep it up. I feel these matches, while I'm going through them, are like a never-ending ordeal. Every evening, I enjoy the fact that the game is over, and I give myself an hour to just say, now I don't care, I'm going to relax. And the next morning, you wake up with a knot in the stomach again, and that's the grind. You love it and hate it at the same time. I'm not going to pretend it's all bad, but that's what you live for, and it's painful. But I think now Jan must be thinking, how do I keep this up? And how am I going to land a blow? I mean, being as equal is one thing, but now I've also got to execute the plan of winning it. So.
Magnus has been thrown for a loop by his opponent's aggressive play, and he's trying to settle things down, and he's captured the knight on f6. Bishop takes knight, and we see Nepo coming back to the board, and the simplest move would just be to take with the queen and trade down. That's a logical, no-risk move in the position. Nepo studying the situation. What is he going to come up with? And he's taken with the pawn. That's a risky move, opening up that king. A definite signal to Magnus that he is after him right now. Nepo showing that he is fully confident that he can play for the attack. Magnus is starting to get a little bit low on the clock, and it's move 25, and he has the chance to capture the rook on c8. Is giving up his queen for 2 rooks. That's usually a fairly good trade, but Jan's pieces are very, very active. Won't take him any time to capture that queen, and there goes Magnus instantly capturing the rook as well. He has 2 rooks for the queen, but that black queen is very powerful, and Jan just dropping the queen back, attacking the pawn immediately, showing this weakness in Magnus's position. Does black have the advantage right now? It's looking very positive for Jan. Magnus has somewhat solidified this position, and a little bit of hesitation there on his part before finally moving his king to h2, getting it to a little bit more safety on that square, making sure it's not on the back row anymore. And we see Nepo coming back. He'll be looking for some kind of aggressive move here. He himself doesn't look too sure of what's going on at the moment, and he has decided to play the move bishop to b2. That's already a weird move, and Magnus replying instantly, having anticipated this move. It doesn't look like a setup that favors Jan in any way. It seems maybe that the game might be turning right now. This has been an incredible battle. The players have been playing for over 6 hours now. Just simply titanic, the struggle, and Magnus hovering there before capturing that pawn. He now has finally won this pawn, and Nepo dropping his queen back to attack Magnus's pawn next to the king. That's a very aggressive move. Will Magnus be defensive? No, he has sacrificed his rook. Magnus Carlsen has sacrificed his rook. King captures rook, and now his other rook is definitely going to come down to the b7 square. That's got to be the follow-up, and he has done so, checking Nepo's king. The king's going to have to move out the way. This has been an amazing combination, picking off the bishop now, and in this position, Magnus has a knight, rook, and 2 pawns for the queen. Only one side could win this game, and it's white. No way in the world for black to win. Magnus Carlsen in the driver's seat. Will we see a victory in Game 6? The FIDE World Championship Dubai 2021 is followed by fans all around the world. And in Russia, a chess-hungry country and home of challenger Jan Nepomniachtchi, it is followed with a special enthusiasm. FIDE, together with the Chess Federation of Russia, have partnered with GUM, the historical department store in Moscow, to create a fan zone right in the heart of the Red Square. Apart from enjoying expert commentary with a professional team led by women's Grandmaster Dina Belenkaya and experienced Grandmaster Sergei Shipov in an open studio, the fans can also engage in many other activities, including side tournaments, classes, and casual blitz games. Russia has had a long and illustrious chess tradition with some of the finest players in history hailing from that nation. And now a new generation of children are picking up the game and learning the many values that chess has to offer, including critical thinking, problem solving, goal setting, appreciating how other people think, and making fantastic decisions. The fans will be following the match eagerly from Moscow, but now it's time to jump back to Magnus and Jan as the match in Dubai is heating up.
Right now, I think that Magnus tried to put some pressure in the opening by choosing a rare line, trying to surprise Nepo. But I also think Nepo corrected very nicely. And I think largely he neutralized Magnus's surprise. So now we are talking about small things, small advantages, and this Magnus's strength. But I'm kind of doubtful that he'll manage to convert.
I think I'm a bit surprised about Nepo's, attitude during the match and during actually the game, because usually he's like super aggressive and he's trying always to score, you know. But so far I feel like he's been trying to be more, well, as I say, conservative and trying to protect more. So yeah, I think it's Magnus at some point will try to be the one with the initiative and try to be the aggressive one. So I'm really looking forward for that.
I hope that it's not a draw again. I want to be more action. So I don't know what is going to happen. I'm not a player. I'm trying to understand what is happening. So let's cross fingers and hope that it's a win for one of the players.
Well, I think Magnus is going to win. Also because I work on Chess24, so I'm kind of part of his team, you know. Chess24 is his play zone. So obviously, we are kind of rooting for him. So, but yeah, I have to say Magnus.
An epic battle as Magnus Carlsen tries to defeat his challenger, get the first win of this match and his first win in a World Championship match in 5 years. But the Queen is a sturdy defender, and it is clear that Nepo will have a lot of chances to defend this position. And now his Queen jumps all the way down into the corner, the H1 square, looking to harass that white king, and Magnus takes no time at all, playing check, rook to a6 with check to the black king, causing it to step backwards. We see some hesitation on Jan's part there, as this is a tricky position. You have to play it with care. The king does drop back, and now black's queen will threaten the white king, but knight to f3, a really nice move, covering all the key squares near his king. And again, some hesitation on Jan's part as he tries to figure out the best square to put that queen. That queen wants to continue to harass the white king, that is. And now we see queen to b1, attacking from another angle with that move, looking to somehow check the king. Definitely dangerous, but Magnus moving quickly with the move rook to d6, bringing his rook closer to his own pieces so that he'll be able to cover that king in case of check. And an instant move by Jan Nepomniachtchi. Both players playing quickly now, feeling the pressure of the clock ticking down. This has been an incredible struggle. 113 moves played so far, one of the longest games in World Championship history. And now h4, and Magnus taking that pawn that went to h4 instantly. Now black will capture back. Oh, he has played a check first to the king, forcing the king to move backwards. We see Magnus hesitating before playing the move, and now king quickly to d2. He played it with a little bit of zip, and queen takes h4. This is certainly complicated. It looks like it should be a draw, but Magnus is the only one with any chances, as one of his pawns could potentially become a queen. It's been 129 moves, and 7 hours later, these two gladiators are still duking it out. Queen to A2 check by Nepo. He still should be able to draw this game. King moving up to H3, but Magnus will now try to bring his pieces up the board. The queen dropping back to E6. That looks like a problematic move, as it allows Magnus's king to continue to march forward. Usually kings don't like to go into the middle of the action, but this king is helping its forces to seal the deal. Queen to H6 with check, but that can be easily blocked by knight to H5. There we go, the knight blocking the check, and white's pieces are so harmonious. They're just easily organized, easily coordinated, moving down the board. We see the queen dropping back, attacking the rook, but in fact, it can't really take that rook because of knight to G7 check, forking king and queen, and Magnus plays the move E6, accentuating this reality. Don't dare touch my rook or I will fork your king and queen. The queen now moving up to G6, trying to attack that pawn, but it can't even take that pawn either because of the fork. So Magnus now playing rook to F7, posting up down low in the heart of black's position. Black is in deep trouble here, moving his king, sidestepping with his king, but this is not going to help. It seems as though Magnus can just advance a pawn and protect, and he has done so. Pawn up, attacking the queen and also protecting his own pawn. What a unit those forces are right now. The white pieces, queen going all the way down to G1, but I don't think this is going to help. Magnus now marching his knight in to G7. His pieces are fantastic. He threatens E7 check and then queening his own pawn. This looks over. This looks all over, but the crying Nepo in deep trouble, and he sees it. He has resigned, and Magnus Carlsen finally getting off the schneid after 5 long years of classical futility. Magnus Carlsen has won a world championship game, and he is now in the lead for the first time in the match.
The match has been deadlocked so far, so any win that I can get is great, but it's far from over. Yeah, I would say the last few moves before the time control I was mainly guessing. I mean, I had 3 minutes left, and then I was hit with a bit of a nasty surprise and that I hadn't seen, so there was not much time.
I mean, sometimes you make mistakes, and sometimes it's, that's pretty human. That's a pretty human thing. So I don't think you can aim for playing, let's say, 4 consecutive games without winning or losing. Yeah, it's like a part of the game. So let's see.
And there was a lot of the same emotions as the game that I won against Kārjāķin, where it was just a marathon there as well. So
Next game, game 7, will be tomorrow at 16:30. Thank you all, and have a good night.